What is up, YouTube? We're back with another YouTube video, and today we're going to be doing a Lost Sector guide for the Quarry Legend Lost Sector. So what you want to do is look at your destinations, go to the left side of Earth, and just go to the EDZ, spawn in the top left portion of the map called the Sunken Isles, and then once you get here, take your Sparrow out, and it's not too far from the spawn. Just go to your left right here when you see the ship in the background, and if you see this flag here, that means you can start it, but if you don't see this, that means you have to run through this cave and unlock it. So just run through here, and then once you reach a certain part, it'll say Lost Sector discovered, and then you'll run through it like normal, kill everything in the Lost Sector, kill the boss, loot the chest at the end, and you'll unlock Legend and Master Lost Sectors for this Lost Sector. So now we're going to work our way back up, and we're going to go over the modifiers that we have, which, to be honest, aren't bad modifiers. Here you're gonna see we have solar and void shields. We're gonna have locked loadout and extra shields, equipment locked, limited revives, barrier and unstoppable champions, void threat, 25% increase to incoming void damage, enemies throw grenades significantly more often, weapon overcharges from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity, kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge, 25% bonus to outgoing solar damage, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage, and overcharged grenade launcher, and this is a 25% bonus damage for all grenade launchers. Recommended power 1830, but around 1815 you should be fine and above. Enhancement cores are uncommon, and if completed solo, exotic arms armor is rare. So with that being said, let's cut to the gameplay for the Lost Sector. So here's the build that we got going on. We have Solar subclass with Blade Barrage, Marksman Dodge, Triple Jump, Knife Trick, and Incendiary Grenades. You can use any grenade if you want, to be honest. I'm a big fan of Solar Grenades, however, I'm not a big fan of waiting 2 minutes and 32 seconds when it comes to getting my grenade. But if you have grenade mods and stuff like that, you could get it back faster. On your mark and knock them down are my two aspects. And then I have Ember of Searing, Ember of Blistering, Ember of Combustion, Ember of Char, and Ember of Wonder. Then when it comes to my weapons, Kinetic Pulse Rifle, just so I can use Anti-Barrier Pulse Rifle for barrier champions. And it can be any Kinetic Pulse Rifle. Battle Scar is a pretty good one with Kinetic Tremors, but I'm using this Peace of Mind that I got pretty much a year ago when Witch Queen came out. So that's what I'm using for that. Solar Scout Rifle for Unstoppable Scout Rifle, and Polaris Lance, the exotic, because not only do we have that solar burn, but Unstoppable Scout Rifle, and this with the catalyst that adds Dragonfly, and it pretty much makes the explosion radius a little bigger and stuff like that. So if you have the catalyst, I highly recommend completing it and using it, but if not, any regular Solar Scout can work, but that's what I'm using for Unstoppable Scout Rifle. Then Circular Logic for strand damage because of that strand burn, as well as just holding a lot of ammo. I don't really use it too much in the video, but you can use this in the boss room a lot more than I used mine. I mainly use it for the barrier champion and then finishing the boss, but it holds a lot of ammo, so don't be afraid to use some of it. And when it comes to other weapons you can use, you can do whatever you want. This is not the only class that you can use. For example, if you want to use like a scout rifle in your kinetic slot, you can use something like Tears of Contrition, and then in your secondary slot you can put like Drang and have barrier sidearm with Unstoppable Scout Rifle, and then use whatever heavy you want. You have different options and stuff. Use whatever you want, use whatever you're comfortable with. You can use grenade launchers because they have that 25% grenade launcher buff on them, like they're overcharged weapons. So you can use heavy grenade launchers, you can use secondary grenade launchers, kinetic heavy or primary grenade launchers like Wither Horde is an option. So just use whatever you want. But then when it comes to armor, I'm running Ashes to Assets so I can gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. Kinetic Siphon and Solar Siphon for rapid kinetic weapon final blows create an orb of power, and the same thing for solar weapons. They rapid solar weapon final blows create an orb of power. Then Firepower, your grenade final blows create orbs of power. Grenade Kickstart, when your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain additional grenade energy. Then I have 2 of those Grenade Kickstart mods. Then Charged Up, I have 2 of them, and it increases the maximum number of stacks of armor charge you can carry by 1. Then on my legs, I got Star Eater Scales, Exotic Legs, and these, when you pick up orbs, you can overcharge your super. And again, we're going to be generating orbs, we're going to be picking them up, so we're going to use some benefits to them. Better already, your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an orb of power. Solar Weapon Surge, your solar weapons gain a small bonus to the damage while you have an armor charge. And Kinetic Weapon Surge, your kinetic weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. So again, here's our kinetic weapon, here's our solar weapon. That's why we're using that. And then time dilation, we have 2 of these, and your decaying armor charge has a longer duration. Again, we're just trying to use the armor charges as long as possible. That way we're getting our buffs, we're getting damage buffs. We don't have to worry too much about losing it, but it will decay over time. And Bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So that's pretty much the build here. Again, I really want to apologize for the noise outside. It's just annoying for me as it is probably hearing it in the video, but that's going to be the build. Let's get into the gameplay. Alright, now that we loaded it in, and by the way, if you hear any construction noise, sorry about that, can't really do much about it. What's going on outside my window, but here we're just going to deal with this unstoppable champion and the red health bars. Again, pretty just standard stuff. Stun the champion, you know, spam heavy if you want, but I'm just going to spam Polaris Lance because, as you can see, pretty useful. I'm just going to keep doing this. And that big field tank is just a crit that it's kind of hard to miss unless you're like missing on purpose. So there we go. Now the rest of the room is just red health bar enemies. There's one void shield, but again, thankfully, since they changed, I think it was match game and stuff like that, you no longer need matching weapons to break shields and stuff like that. So now we just deal with, there's probably like 1 Scion hiding from me. Yep. Let's just get this guy. Now you're gonna have some shield enemies spawn in. I'm gonna try and just get that. Another Scion. There we go. Now when you work your way down here, you're gonna have some red health bar enemies, and you're gonna have a barrier champion, so keep that in mind. You can see he drops from this right side, and I'm just gonna try to spam him with this. Now when he brings his shield out, I think the Scorch does break the barrier shield in some cases, and you can see he just literally just re-healed. That's crazy. But that was my bad. I didn't even time that the right way, so it's all good. We can just do that again, and this time we won't mess up, hopefully. But you can see my reloads are taking a little too long. I'll just reload because I know he's gonna do it soon. Yep. Now I'm just gonna spam this, and this should get rid of the champion. There we go. Now you're just gonna have like a red health bar and a gladiator. There's the legionary, and there's the gladiator. So now when we prepare to get into this next room, I do want to know, this room is horrible. I hate this boss room with a passion. So as you get in here, I recommend just getting rid of these Scions, because they're going to be throwing nades at you and like trying to push you around the room and everything. Also, get rid of those explosive barrels, because if you run by them and the enemies shoot them, it's not a fun time, obviously, because you'll take damage for that. These legionaries, I've had times where they don't push me, but you can see one's pushing me. Try to stun that champion, and as you stun him, run towards him. Don't go directly next to him, but get in like this middle area here. And you can see he's gonna push me, so that's pretty scary. Let's try to deal with him. I'm just use my heavy because I don't want to deal with this guy. Do a finisher. And now that you've done that, you should be relatively safe when it comes up here. They don't really push, so you should be fine. But in my case, this recording has taken me several tries just because either I can't stun him fast enough and I end up dying, or The other enemies just are pushing me the whole time, so keep all that in mind. This little spawn door behind that legionary, there is going to be an unstoppable champion that spawns in a little bit once you do some damage to the boss, so keep that in mind. Alright, they're just hitting me with everything. You can kind of farm this guy if you have the artifact mod to break shields with a matching like weapon type and generate orbs if that's what you want to do, but I'm just trying to get this over with. I don't have Feast of Light, which is, you know, kind of depressing, but it doesn't really matter that much. There is an orb right here. So now that you get their health pretty low, I would recommend just kind of getting both of them low. Just spamming nades. Now what I'm going to do is try to get a nade kill, more or less. I'm going to pick this up, and I'm just going to use my super on both of them. You can see that did a lot of damage to the boss. Now I'm going to run back up here, hopefully without dying. And now there should be an unstoppable champion on this side. I don't know where he's at. There he is. Now I'm going to focus him because obviously you don't want this guy pushing you when you're up here. Only thing you want to worry about is the boss and nothing else. You can see that void damage from the boss is pretty annoying. There we go. Champion defeated. Get rid of these red health bars so they're going to just spam nades this whole time. There we go. Now you can see this champion seems to be pushing. That's pretty crazy. But we are gonna get rid of him. I'm just gonna use my heavy for this last couple shots. There we go. As you can see, not anything too crazy. The boss room can get a little hectic, but a lot of that really just depends on more or less your enemy RNG when it comes to that. Because I've had times where they don't push me at all once I get there, and I can just run up here freely. But there's other times where I'm getting spammed and stuff, so just don't worry too much about it. Play however you're comfortable, but just if it takes you a little bit to master, you know, it's just gonna happen. So a good 6-minute run, it's not the worst. You can farm it more efficiently if you don't worry about the red health bars and stuff. You just only go for champions. But as you can see, I did everything there, solo flawless. That's gonna do it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe, drop a follow on my Twitch, twitch.tv/monkishjam0. Ring the bell so you don't miss another video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.